Okay, so now we're going to discuss the coordinate geometry. Okay, so we're going to deal with topics regarding the distance formula, the midpoint formula, and the equation of a circle. Okay, so first, let us have the coordinate geometry. So class, when we're talking about the coordinate geometry, it tells about the Cartesian plane. Okay, so because the coordinate geometry tackles about how the curves, how the graphs, okay, how the algebraic expressions are being coordinated with the Cartesian plane. Okay, so the brainchild of the coordinate geometry is René Descartes and Pierre de Fermat. Okay, so okay, so the person behind the coordinate geometry is known as is known as um, okay is known as René Descartes. Okay, so he is one being he is the one who proposed about the coordinate geometry. Now let us have sorry for a while because my pen is not working. Okay. So now let us have the essentials or what are about the coordinate geometry. So the first phase will be about the distance and the midpoint formula. Okay, let us first tackle about the distance formula class. Okay, when we're talking about the distance formula, we are talking about the coordinates. Okay, if point A, which is x sub 1, y sub 1, and B, x sub 2, y sub 2 are any 2 points on the coordinate plane, then the length or the distance between point A and B, which is the segment AB, is the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 square plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 square. Okay, class, we are just using this formula. Okay, kapag ka ang distance between the points ay hindi vertical or hindi horizontal, or in other words, hindi siya directed distance na makukuha. Pag sinabi kasi natin class directed distance, you can just count the distance between the points. So it mas madali, okay, siyang bilangin if ang kinukuha nating length or ang kinukuha nating distance is horizontal or vertical. Kapag yan ay naging oblique, okay, kapag yan ay naging oblique or diagonal distance, saka natin ginagamit itong ating formula na ito. Well, actually, this formula came from the Pythagorean formula, okay, which is, this one is coming from the right triangle. So, paano tayo nag-come up to this formula? So, as we all know that the distance, this is directed distance because it is horizontal. Okay, so since this is parallel to our x-axis, just uh, yeah. Okay, so since this is parallel to the x-axis, okay, so we can say that the distance from here, for example, this is our x sub 1 and this is our x sub 2. If we're going to get the distance here, so we have here x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Okay, and if we have here for the y coordinates, okay, so that is, this is y sub 2 and this is y sub 1. If we're going to get the distance, okay, from this point to that point, okay, so that would be y sub 2, that's 1, minus, that is y sub 1. That is directed distance. So if I'm going to get the distance between point A and point B, okay, that is diagonal, okay, and as you can see, we are associating to the right triangle. And if that is in the right triangle, to get the hypotenuse of the right triangle, we have to use the Pythagorean formula, okay, which is c square equals a square plus b square. Okay, so plug into our formula that AB represents our C, so that will become AB square, which is equal to our A is our difference between our X values. So that is x sub 2 minus x sub 1 square plus we have here our b is our y values. So that is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 square. Okay, so then extracting the root to have our segment AB. So extracting the root, so we have AB is equal to the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 square plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 square. That's why we come up to this formula. Okay, so theoretically speaking, we use this segment AB, this formula, if our distance cannot be counted. Okay, cannot be counted, okay, merely by the direct distance between the points. Okay, kapag hindi natin siya kayang bilangin, kung siya ay naka-diagonal or naka-oblique, okay, we have to use this formula, the distance formula. Okay, so let's try examples about the distance formula. Okay, find the distance between the given 2 points. Okay, so for letter A, if we are given here um, x, which is negative 2 comma 1, and y, which is negative 3. Okay, so we have to find the distance between x, y. Okay, so to determine the distance between x, y, okay, we have to use the formula. We have here x sub 1, x sub 2 minus, actually class, you can have here x sub 1 and x sub 2. Kahit mauna dyan, minus x sub 2 square, provided that the other coordinates na gagamitin mo is y sub 1 minus y sub 2 squared then. Okay, so that is equal to our x sub 1, that is negative 2, minus our x sub 2 is 4 squared. Take note, class, that the first coordinate refers to our sub 1. The second coordinate refers to our sub 2. Okay, plus, okay, y sub 1, we have here on the first coordinate, that is 1, minus our y sub 2 is on the second coordinate. Okay, so we have here negative times negative, that is positive 3 squared. Okay, so we have here negative 2 minus 4 square, so that is negative 6 square, plus 1 plus 3 is equal to 4 square, and that is equal to the square root of negative 6 square. Okay, so that will become 36 plus 4 square, that is equal to 16. So we have here 36 plus 16, that is equal to 52. That is the distance of xy. But take note that in 52, we can have a perfect square. We can write the square root of 52 as the factors of one of the largest perfect square and the other one is non-perfect square. So we have 52 is the factor of 4 times 13. Okay, so 4 times 13 is 52. Since 4 has the square root, perfect square, so xy would be 2 the square root of 13 units. Okay, so we have here, saan nanggaling itong 2? That came from positive 4. The square root of 4 is positive 2. Okay, next. Let us have the second point. We have point A and point B. Okay, we have here point A, which is 3, negative 6, and point B, which is 1 half, negative 3 over 2. So to get the distance between AB, that is equal to the square root of, okay, x sub 1, that is 3, minus x sub 2, that is 1 half, square, plus we have negative 6, minus we have negative 3 over 2. So negative times negative is positive 3 over 2 square. Okay, then we have here 3 minus 2, 3 minus 1 half square, 3 minus 1 half, that will become, okay, the common denominator is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, 2 divided by 2 is 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. And then we have to square it. Okay, plus we have negative 6 times 2, that is over 2 again, that is negative 12. Okay, 2 divided by 2 is 1 times positive 3, that's positive 3 square. So that is equal to the square root of 6 minus 1 is 5 square, so that is 25. 2 square is over 4, plus negative 12 plus 3, that would be negative 9 square, that is positive 81, over, so we have here 2 square is equal to 4. Since that is similar fraction, we can have 25 plus 81, so that is 106 all over 4. Okay, so that is for AB. So since we can still simplify our denominator because the square root of 4 is 2, then segment AB will be the square root of 106 over 2 units. Okay, because there's no perfect square as the factors of 106. Okay, so let us have letter C. For letter C, we have here segment PQ. Okay, to get the segment PQ, that is the square root of, we have 4 minus 9 square plus, we have 3 minus 15 square. So that is equal to the square root of 4 minus 9. So that is negative 5 square plus 3 minus 15, that is negative 12 square. Okay, so that is the square root of negative 5 square is 25 plus negative 12 square is 144. So 25 plus 144 is 169. Getting the square root of 169, we have the distance of PQ, which is 13 units. Okay, so that's how are you going to get the distance between 2 points. Okay, so take note, class, that these distances, okay, are not in horizontal or vertical. Those are oblique. That's why um, we have to use distance formula. Okay, so let's have problem solving regarding the distance formula. Okay, so for example, we have here, suppose a point lies at negative 4a and is 10 units away from another point that lies at 2, 1. So find the value of a. Okay, so the first thing that you have to do here is to graph. So tignan natin kung saan natin pwedeng ilagay. Okay, yung ating negative 4a. Okay, so we have here a point which is 2, 1. Okay, so we have 1, 2, and this is 1. Okay, so this is our point, which is 2, 1. Okay, so sabi dito, there is a point that lies at negative 4a, which is 10 units away. Okay, 10 units away from point to 1. So, ang ibig sabihin yan is that yung first coordinate natin is negative. So, meaning, it is either in the second quadrant or in the third quadrant because we don't know if A is positive or negative or pwedeng parehas. Okay, because we are only referring to the 10 units away. So, that is negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's negative 4. For example, this is that point. Okay, that is negative 4, comma A. Palitan natin yung A. Comma A. And this one is also negative 4, comma A. Okay? O for example, ang A natin ay, if A is less than 0, so ito yung negative A. Okay? Ang pinag-uusapan natin dito is its distance. Okay? From point to 1. So from here, papunta dito, okay? So for example, that would be 10 units. Okay, what if this point also, okay, from here to point to 1, okay, from here to point to 1 is also 10 units away. Okay, from point to 1. So, yan yung possibility na ating pwedeng mag-graph. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan kuhanin natin yung point A, alam natin yung distance, that the distance is 10 units from to 1. So, we can have the distance, gamitin natin ay red. Okay, so D is equal to the square root of x sub 1 minus x sub 2 square plus y sub 1 minus y sub 2 square. So sabi dito, the distance is 10 units. Okay, so that will be 10 is equal to the square root of x sub 1, that is 2, minus x sub 2, that's negative 4. So negative times negative, that will become positive 4 squared. Okay, plus y sub 1, that will be 1 minus our y sub 2 is a. Okay, square. Okay, so we have here 10 is equal to the square root of 2 plus 4 is 6. Okay, then square, that is 36. Okay, plus we have 1 minus a square. The next thing that you have to do is to extract the root. Okay, squaring both sides. Okay, para matanggal yung radical sign. Okay, so 10 square, that is 100, which is equal to 36. So, ma-eliminate na natin yung radical sign plus 1 minus a square. Okay, so transpose natin or ilipat natin itong 36. So, that is 100 minus 36 is equal to 1 minus a square. 100 minus 36 is 64, which is equal to 1 minus a square. No need to expand this because we can extract the root para matanggal natin itong square. Okay, square root of 64 is 8, which is equal to 1 minus a. Take note that when taking the square root of 64, we can have positive, negative. Okay, we have to indicate if it is positive or negative because we are referring to the point, not the distance. Kapag distance na pinag-uusapan, there's no negative. But when we are looking, okay, but when we are looking for the point or the coordinates, that would be positive or negative. Okay, so ilipat natin. So we have here positive negative 8 is equal to 1 minus a. Iliban natin dito sa kabila si a, iliban naman natin dito sa kabila si positive negative. Or, okay, so that would be, liliban natin. So this is negative a. Pag niliban mo, magiging positive a. Which is equal to, remain yung 1 nandun, ililiban natin tong positive negative. Pag niliban natin, magiging negative positive a. Okay, so the value of a here will be, the value of a is, we have 1 minus 8 is negative 7. Tama? Ulit. We have 1 minus 8. Okay, so our a, the first coordinate is negative 7. And we have here a, which is equal to 1 plus 8. So a is equal to positive 9. So as you can see, we have two values. We have a is equal to positive 9, and we have here a, which is equal to negative 7. Meaning, okay, if we're going to take positive 9, okay, ito yon. Okay, that would be negative 4, positive 9. Because in the second quadrant, our second coordinate will be positive. Kapag naman tinake natin yung negative 7, nandito yon. So that will be negative 4, negative 7. Okay, because negative 7, the second coordinate will be can be found in the third quadrant. That's negative 7. So therefore, the values of A will be positive 9 and negative 7. So yun lang ang tinatanong dyan. Yung kanyang value ng A and B para ma-verify natin yung distance, which is 10 points, 10 units. Okay, so let's have another one. Okay, number 3. Show that the points A, negative 3, 9, B, 13, negative 1, and C, negative 9, 3 are vertices of a right triangle. So before that, let us first analyze the given. Okay, you have to show, okay, that these points are vertices of a right triangle. So to determine if that is the vertices of a right triangle, okay, so alam natin that in a right triangle, ganito itsura niyan. Okay, so kung meron ditong mga point, if we're going, we are just only consolidating information para maipakita natin that these vertices, okay, are vertices ng isang right triangle. So kailangan muna nating magplano. Ano yung gagawin natin para maipakita natin that these points are vertices of a right triangle. So the first thing that you have to do is to consider the characteristic of a right triangle. So if we have here, for example, this is A, for example, this is A, this is B, and this is C. Okay, so your plan here is to get the distance of each vertices or each vertex. Okay, get the distance of AB, BC, and AC. And then the second thing that you have to do to verify that this is a right triangle, meron lang tayong isang characteristic na pinapakita kapag ka siya right triangle to verify the sides of the triangle. That is with the use of the Pythagorean formula that the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the square of each leg. So that is a square plus b square. So kailangan kunin muna natin ang distance ng AB, ng BC at ng AC. And then after that, let us validate yung sides niya using the Pythagorean formula. Okay? So that's the plan. So now, let us first locate these points in a Cartesian plane. Okay, ilagay muna natin siya sa Cartesian plane. Okay, so let us have -3, 1, 2, 3, and we have here -9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and we have 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and -1. This one. Then we have -9, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, +3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is our point A, this is our point B, and this is our point C. Okay, so let us connect these points. Connect natin yung mga points na yan. Okay. So we have here point A, which is -3, -9, which is and then point B, which is 13, -1, and point C, which is -9, +3. Now, the plan is to get the distance, okay, para makuha natin yung measure ng side ng triangle. Okay, so let us have the distance. So we have here, kunin muna natin si AC. Okay, distance AC. AC is equal to the square root of, we have -9 minus this one, -9. Sige, balik rin natin kasi AC, unahin natin si E. We have -3 minus -9, so that's negative, +9 square. Plus, we have -9, okay, minus 3 squared. So that is equal to the square root of -3 plus 9, that is +6 square. Plus, we have -9 minus 3, that is -12 square. Okay, so that is equal to the square root of 36 plus 144. So AC is equal to the square root of 144 plus 36, that is 180. Okay, and then 180 is, sige, hayaan muna natin, 180 units. Okay, this is square root of 180 units. Hayaan muna natin siya naka-radical kasi ang Pythagorean formula naman natin gagamitin is naka-square. So magka-cancel lang tayo ng radical sign later. Okay, so let us have naman the AC or AB. Okay, AB is equal to the square root of -3 minus, we have here 13 square, plus we have -9 minus, we have -1, so that will become +1 square. So that is equal to the square root of -3 minus 13 is -16 square, plus -9 plus 1 is -8 square. So that is equal to the square root of, okay, so 16 square, 16, 6, 3, 9, this is 6, 1, this is 2, sorry, 1, okay, 6, 5, 1, okay, 256 plus 64. Tama ba? 6, 3, 6, 9. Okay, is that would be 6 and that would be 1. Okay, 256. Okay, next we have 256. So our AC will be 256 plus 64. Okay, 256 and 64, 0, 1, 2, 1, 300. Square root of 320. Okay, square root of 320. That is for our AB. Okay, square root of 320. Okay, now let us have segment BC. Kunin naman natin yung distance ni BC. Okay, so BC is equal to the square root of, we have B, we have 13 minus, we have here negative 9. So that will become plus 9 square. Plus, we have here negative 1 minus 3 square. Okay, that's 3. Okay, so BC is equal to the square root of 13 plus 9, that is 22 square. Plus, so we have negative 1 minus 3, that is negative 4 square. So that is the square root of 22 square. 22 times 22, 4, 4, 4, 4. That is 484. Okay, plus negative 4 square is 16. So therefore, BC is equal to the square root of 484 plus 16. So that is 500. Okay, so 500. So meron na agad tayo dito nakikita that 180 plus 320 is equal to 500. Okay, so pwede na agad natin siyang makita doon. Okay, so now take note class that when we are dealing with the right triangle, the largest value will always be our hypotenuse. Tatandaan yan, that hypotenuse is the longest. Okay, hypotenuse is the longest leg of a triangle. Okay, so in a right triangle. So kung ito ay square root of 500, so therefore, validate natin siya. C square equals A square plus B square. So sabi natin, yung pinakamalaking side, yun ang ating hypotenuse. Okay, so we have BC square is equal to, maalin na dito sa dalawa, AC square plus AB square. Sorry, this is AB. Okay, so we have here the square root of 500 square is equal to the square root of 180 square plus the square root of 320 square. Cancel yung mga radical signs. So we have 500 is equal to 180 plus, cancel din to, that will become 320. Therefore, 500 is equal to 500. Then we can say that these points are vertices of a right triangle. So opposite ng BC is our yan. Okay, so that would be the right triangle. Okay, siguro hindi lang siya mukhang right triangle because of the accuracy ng ating pag-graph. Yan, so this would be our X and this would be our Y. Okay, so yan. We have proved that these vertices are, these points are vertices of a right triangle. Okay, now let us have the second one. Okay, so is natin to. Okay, let us have number 3. Okay, number 3 ba? Number 4. Okay, number 4. Okay, so the coordinates of the endpoints of AC or segment AC are negative 4, 2, and 3, y. Suppose that the distance between AC is 25 units. What values of y would satisfy the given condition? So this example is the same with the example given in our number 2 example. Okay, we have to find the value or values of y. Or parang kanina, ang kinuha natin is yung value ng a. Okay, so ang unang gagawin ulit dito, let us graph para makita natin kung saan natin ilo-locate yung ating isang coordinates. Okay, so sabi dito, our point A is at negative 4, 2. So let us locate 1, 2, 3, 4. That is positive 2. Okay, so that is our A, which is negative 4, comma 2. Okay, so this negative 4, comma 2, and this 3, comma y, that's positive 3, okay, and y. So for example, nandito yan, kunyari lang, so that is our C. Okay, so that is 3, comma y, or pwede din naman na andito, si ating C, which is 3, comma y. Basta ang sinasabi dito sa ating problem that the distance between these two is okay, 25 units. So kapag kinonect mo tong dalawang to, yan, okay, so pareha silang merong distance na 25 units from point A. Okay, so ang tanong lang dyan, ano yung value ng y na magsasatisfy sa condition that the distance between point A and C is 25 units. Okay, so let's see. So the distance between AC is equal to the square root of x sub 1 minus x sub 2 square plus y sub 1 minus y sub 2 square. So that is equal to the square root of our x sub 1. We have here negative 4, okay, minus 3 squared plus we have y sub 1, which is 2 minus y sub 2 is y squared. So that is our AC is 25 units. So 25 is equal to the square root of negative 4 minus 3, that is negative 7 squared. Plus, we have here 2 minus y squared. Okay, we can now square negative 7, so we have 25 is equal to the square root of 49 plus we have 2 minus y squared. Okay, squaring both sides to eliminate our radical sign. So we have 25 squared is 625, which is equal to, okay, eliminate na natin to. We have 49 plus 2 minus y squared. Okay, transpose natin yung 49. So we have the 625 minus 49 is equal to 2 minus y squared. 625 minus 49 is 576. Okay, is equal to 2 minus y squared. Okay, extracting the root, okay, para matanggal tong square natin dito. So we have the square root of 576 is 14, okay, 16, 24. Okay, so 24 is equal to, tama ba? Let's check, 24, 24, we have 6, 16, 8, 9, 8, 4. Okay, so 576. Okay, so 24, since, yun nga ulitin ko, we are looking for the points. So we can have here positive, negative 24 equals 2 minus 1. Transpose natin si y dito sa left. So that is y is equal to, remain yung 2, and then transpose natin itong positive, negative 24 sa kabila. So that would be positive, negative, positive, negative, positive 24. So nag-transpose tayo. So y is equal to 2 minus 24, that is equal to negative 22. And the other y is equal to, we have 2 plus 24 is equal to 26. Okay, so we have here two values. Okay, one is negative and the other one is positive. So we can say that the negative side is 1. Our C here will be 3, negative 22. And the other one here, C is equal to 3, positive 26. So these 2 points our C and our C prime, for example, the second coordinate, is or they are both 25 units away from point A, which is negative 40. Okay, so ito lang ang hinihingi natin dyan, the values of our Y. Okay, that's negative 22 and positive 26. Okay, and that ends our distance formula. Okay, so the sense of the distance formula that you should take note is that this formula is used if our distance is not or cannot be directed or cannot be counted directly. Okay, so ginagamit lang natin itong distance formula kapag hindi natin siya pwedeng i-count directly. Okay, or medyo malalaki na yung value. But if we can count directly, that is what we call directed distance. Okay, so there are several applications of the distance formula. Okay, what I have presented are few of those applications and problems related to the distance formula. Next, let us have the midpoint formula. When we're talking about the midpoint formula, okay, it deals with the term mid, which means this is middle, and point, which means there is a middle point between that segment or between these given points. Okay, so our midpoint formula states here that if we have here the same with the distance, we have here point A, which is x sub 1, y sub 1, and point B, which is x sub 2, y sub 2, are any 2 points on the coordinate plane, then the midpoint, which is represented by M, of segment AB has the coordinates, you just have to get half of the sum of each coordinates. Okay? So for example, if we have your x sub 1, get the sum of x sub 1 and x sub 2, then get the half that is divided by 2, that is the midpoint. So it's just like getting the average of the coordinates. Okay, so recall that midpoint is a point on the segment that divides the segment into equal parts. So meaning to say, when we locate midpoint at the middle, it divides, okay, the segment into two congruent parts. So meaning, from here, if we have here point M, so point MB is equal to point MA. Okay, so they are congruent. Okay, because this segment is divided by point M, which is our midpoint. Okay, so this is our formula in finding the midpoint between 2 points, x sub 1 plus x sub 2 over 2, and then y sub 1 plus y sub 2 over 2. Okay, so let us have example. Find the midpoint of the line segments determined by the following points. For example A, we have here segment AB. Okay, if we're going to get the midpoint, okay, midpoint between segment A, B, okay, or points A and B respectively, we just have to add and divide by 2 the coordinates. So let's have x sub 1 plus x sub 2 divided by 2, and then we have y sub 1 plus y sub 2 divided by 2. So for the midpoint, we have x sub 1, which is 4, plus our x sub 2, which is 6 divided by 2, and then we have y sub 1, which is negative 2, plus y sub 2 is 0 divided by 2. So our midpoint, okay, from between point A and B is 4 plus 6 is 10 divided by 2 is 5. Negative 2 plus 0 is negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. So our midpoint is 5 comma negative 1. For letter B, if we're going to determine the midpoint between C and D, okay, so we have M, which is negative 5 plus 9 divided by 2, and then we have 9 plus 7 divided by 2. So the midpoint here is negative 5 plus 9, that is positive 4 divided 2. And we have 9 plus 7, that is 16 divided 2. So the midpoint here is 4 plus 4 divided by 2. Okay, so that will become 2. And then we have 16 divided by 2, that is 8. So the midpoint between point C and D is 2, comma 8. Next, let us determine the midpoint between E and F. Okay, so E and F to get the midpoint. So the same process, we have negative 3 plus 3 over 2, and then we have 0 plus negative 4 over 2. Okay, so the midpoint M, negative 3 plus 3 is 0 divided by 2, that is 0. 0 plus negative 4, so that is negative 4. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. So meaning the midpoint between points E and F is 0, comma, negative 2. Okay, so that is for the midpoint. Okay, let us have the word problem. Suppose M is the midpoint of AB. Okay, suppose M is the midpoint of AB. If points A and M have the coordinates 8, 3, and negative 5, negative 5 respectively, what are the coordinates of B? So ang gawin niyo dyan is you can make a segment. For example, let us make a segment. Okay, so this is our segment. Okay, so stated here that M is the midpoint. Okay, M is the midpoint of point A and point B. Okay, if the coordinates of A is 8, 3, and the coordinates of our midpoint is negative 5, 5, okay, so what is the coordinates of our B? Okay, so in short class, okay, you have to twice only the coordinates of the midpoint and then subtract the coordinates of A. Just like negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Negative 10 minus 8 is equal to negative 18. Okay, so this is the coordinates of our B is negative 18, comma, twice y coordinates. 5 times 2, that is 10, minus the coordinates of our y in A, that's 3. So this is equal to 7. Okay, so this will be 7. Okay, so the coordinates of our B is negative 18, 7. Let's check. Negative 18 plus 8, that's negative 10. Divided by 2, that is negative 5. So that's the midpoint. Okay, we have here 3 plus 7, that is 10, divided by 2, that is 5. Okay, so to get the points when the midpoint, or to get the coordinates when the midpoint is given, you have to twice the coordinates of the midpoint and then subtract the coordinate of the other given point. Okay, so just like what I did, we have here the midpoint, M, okay, twice its coordinates. So we have negative 5 times 2, that is negative 10. Then subtract the coordinate corresponds to this x value from the other given point, so which is 8. So negative 10 minus 8 is negative 18. So that's it. Then 5 times 2, that is positive 10. Minus 3, that is positive 7. And that is positive 7. So this is the coordinate of the unknown point. Okay, so that is analytical solving only. Okay, the vertices of triangle TOK are T 4, 6, negative 2, negative 2, and 6, negative 8. Find the coordinates of the midpoints of A, B, and C of TO, OK, and KT respectively. Okay, so ang sinasabi dyan is i-graph muna natin. Okay, para makita natin kung ano ang gustong palabasin sa problem. Okay, ang atin daw coordinates ng T ay 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this is our T, which is 4, 6. Next, we have point O, negative 2, negative 2. So this is our point O, which is negative 2, negative 2. We have point K, which is 6, 4, 5, 6. negative 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that is point K, which is 6, comma, negative 8. Okay, let us connect these points. Okay, connect natin sila because we're going to get the midpoint of this triangle TOK. Okay, TOK. Yan, okay. Okay, to get the midpoint, katulad pa rin ng process na ginagawa natin, okay, we just have to add the coordinates then divide by 2. Okay, midpoint of TK, natin ang kulay. Okay, midpoint of TK, okay, midpoint 1, we have 4 plus 6 is 10. Divided by 2, that is 5. Comma, we have 6 plus negative 8 is negative 2. Okay, negative 2. And then divided by 2, that is negative 1. That's why the midpoint of TK is 5, comma, negative 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 1. Ayan. So idikit lang natin ng konti ito. Yan. Para siya tumama sa point. Okay, so we have 5, comma, negative 1. Okay, so that is the midpoint of TK. Now, let us have the midpoint of TO. Okay, midpoint of TO. So let us denote this as M2. Dito na lang natin ilagay. M2. We have 4 plus negative 2. That is positive 2 divided by 2. That is 1. We have here 6 plus negative 2. We have 4 divided by 2. That is 2. So TO is at 1, positive 2. Okay, this one. Okay, that is the midpoint. Next. Okay, next is we have OK. Okay, let us get the midpoint of OK. So midpoint 3. Okay, so we have negative 2 plus 6. Negative 2 plus 6 is positive 4 divided by 2. That is 2. We have negative 2 plus negative 8 is negative 10. Divided by 2 is negative 5. So the midpoint of OK, segment OK is negative, positive 2, negative 5. Positive 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Ayan. Okay, so these are the midpoints. Okay, midpoint A. Okay, midpoint A, that is midpoint of TO. Isa na TO, that is 1, 2. Midpoint B, okay, that's B of OK, that is 2, negative 5. And midpoint C, which is midpoint of KT or TK, which is 5, negative 1. So these are the midpoints of the given vertices of triangle TOK. Okay, next. Okay, so with the same triangle, tama ba? Same triangle. Okay, same triangle, we have to find the perimeter. Okay, perimeters of triangle TOK and triangle ABC. So, i-rename natin ito. Okay, lagyan natin siya ng ABC. Ang A natin ay 1, 2. So, this is our point A. Okay, this is our point C and this is our point B. If we're going to class connect that points, okay, makakabuo tayo ng another triangle dyan. Okay, so our another triangle is this one. Okay, ang sabi dito, let us find the perimeter. So para makuha natin ang perimeter, kailangan natin ng length ng sides ng triangle. Okay, because the perimeter of the triangle is the sum of all sides. Okay, sum of the sides of the triangle para makuha natin yung ating perimeter. So let us have the perimeter, okay, perimeter of triangle TOK. Para makuha natin ang perimeter, kailangan natin gamitin ang distance formula para makuha natin ang sides. Okay, ang TO, okay, so sides ng TO, segment TO, so that is the square root of, we have 4 minus negative 2, that is positive 2 square, plus we have 6 minus negative 2, that is positive 2 square. So that is equal to 4 plus 2 is 6 square, plus we have 8. 6 plus 2 is 8 square. So that is equal to 36 plus 64. Okay, and that is equal to the square root of 100. Meaning TO is equal to 10 units. Okay, so this is 10 units ang ating TO. This is 10. Okay, next is we need to get the distance of OK. Okay, so the distance of OK is equal to the square root of, gamitin na lang natin yung ating formula. We have O, negative 2 minus 6 is negative 8 square, plus we have negative 2 minus negative 8, that is negative 2 plus 8. So that will become positive 6 square. So that is equal to the square root of 64 plus 36. So OK is equal to square root of 100. So segment OK, okay, so segment OK is equal to 10 units also. Okay, so this is also 10 units. Okay, so that is isosceles. Tama? Parehas sila ng side. Ito at saka ito. Okay, next, let us have segment TK. Segment TK is equal to the square root of 4 minus 6, that is negative 2 square, plus 6 minus negative 8. So magiging 6 plus 8. So that is 14 square. So that is equal to the square root of 4 plus 14 square. What is 14 square? So we have 196. 6, 1, 4, 5. Okay, 196. Okay, TK is equal to the square root of 200. Okay, so TK, okay, so lagyan natin dito, TK is equal to 200 is 100 times 2. Square root of 100 is 10. So that is 10 the square root of 2. Okay, so this is 10 the square root of 2. So to get the perimeter of triangle TOK, so i-add lang natin yung kanyang mga sides. So we have 10 plus 10 plus 10 the square root of 2. So that will be 10 plus 10, 20. Okay, that is 20 plus 10, the square root of 2. Okay, the square root of 2, anong bali ng square root of 2? Okay, square root of 2, we have, okay, 10, the square root of 2. Okay, 1.41. Okay, so that is 14.14. So this is equal to 20 plus 14.14. So ang ating perimeter, okay, perimeter ng triangle TOK will be 34.14. Okay, units. Okay. Okay, so that is the perimeter of triangle TOK. So for the triangle ABC, the same process din ang gagawin ninyo. Okay, you have to get the distance formula. Okay, the distance between AB, the distance between BC, and the distance between AC. Okay, so I think this is a similar triangle naman na makukuha mo dyan. Okay. Okay, so let us have the next one. Okay, so tapos na yan. Okay, so we're going to use class the problem about we're going to use the distance formula and the midpoint formula in order for us to arrive in the equation of a circle. Okay? Lagi yon. Sometimes there are equations or problems about the circle, okay, that we need the the content, okay, that we need the background, okay, background knowledge about the distance and the midpoint formula. Okay? But first, let us define what is a circle. Okay, when we're talking about the circle class, circle is the locus of all points in a plane. Okay, pag sinabi nating circle, yan ay locus of all points in a plane which is equidistant from the fixed point. Okay, so that fixed point class is what we call the center of the circle. Okay, so that fixed point is called the center of the circle. And when we are looking for the distance between this locus of points to that fixed point, ang tawag natin dyan class ay radius. Okay? So kumbaga, when we're talking about the circle, the definition of the circle, okay, for example, this is our circle. When we're talking about the locus of all points, okay, these are points that is on the circumference of the circle. This one. Okay? These are points that would satisfy the equation of the circle. Kasi yan yung ating mga points na dadaanan ni circle. Locus of points yan. And when we're talking about the fixed point is the center. Okay, sabi dito, it is equidistant. Okay, equidistant from the fixed point. This locus of points, pare-parehas yan ng measure. Bakit? Kasi ang sabi natin from the theorem that the radii of a circle are congruent. Lahat ng radius, okay? Radii is the plural form of the radius. All radii in our circle, lahat yan pare-parehas. Okay? Pare-parehas yan ng measure. Kasi kapag hindi yan nagkapare-parehas ng measure, this is not a circle. Okay, more probably that would become oblong. For example, halimbawa, ito, meron tayong center. So ito ang radius 1, ito ang radius 2. Okay, so yung ating radius 1 at saka yung radius 2, hindi equal kasi mas malaki to. So hindi circle ang mabubuo mo dyan. So para makabuo ka ng circle, dapat ang radius mo pare-parehas. Okay, that's why the definition of the circle, it emphasizes the term equidistant. Okay? Pare-parehas siya ng distansya from the locus of points and the fixed point, which is yun nga, yung center. Pare-parehas dapat. Kaya ang radius, kailangan pare-parehas ang kanyang layo from the locus. Ang radius dapat pare-parehas siya ng measure. Meaning, ang center, dapat pare-parehas sila ng layo from the locus of points ng ating circle. Okay, so we have here the equations of a circle. Okay, so we have the standard equation and we have the general form. Okay, when the circle, okay, when the center of the circle lies at the origin, meaning the coordinates of our center is at 0, 0, okay, so our equation will be x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Okay, however, when our equation of the circle or when our circle lies not on the origin, meaning it is shifted h unit horizontally and k unit vertically. Okay, kaya ito yung hk. Okay, lumipat siya ng pwesto. Okay, from the center, paano kapag siya nawala kay origin? Lumilipat siya ng pwesto. So kaya tayo nagkakaroon ng shifting of center and that is from hk. Okay, kapag nagkaroon ng shifting ng ating center, mababago ang ating standard form. Hindi na siya x squared plus y squared equals r squared. The standard form will be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay, so this our equation, okay, this standard form is also known as the center radius form. Bakit siya tinawag na center radius form? Kasi dito pa lang makikita mo na yung value ng kanyang, yung coordinates ng center at yung measure ng kanyang radius. Okay, that center is our h, this one, and k. And our radius is this one, our r. That's why it is called the center radius form. To get the general form of the equation of the circle, okay, so we have here the general form, which is x squared plus y squared plus dx plus ey plus f equals 0. So para makuha natin yung general form, anong gagawin mo lang kay standard form? You just have to expand the binomial square. Okay, expand mo lang to. Kapag na-expand mo, then combine the terms, all like terms, i-combine mo, and then you'll arrive at the general form. You have to equate your standard form to 0 para siya maging general form. Okay, so let us have a specific problem. Okay, find an equation of the circle satisfying the following conditions. Letter A, the center at the origin and the radius is 4 units. Okay, take note that the center is in the origin. So meaning, our center is at 0, 0. So sabi doon, from the definition of the circle and the properties, okay, that when we're talking about the equation of the circle and center is on the origin, we can only use x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Okay, ibig sabihin, si radius lang ang papalitan mo, ang ilalagay mo sa equation. So we have x squared plus y squared equals, our r here is 4, so that will become 4 squared. So we have x squared plus y squared equals 16. So this is our standard form. Okay, to get the general form, ipapasok mo lang si 16. Kasi sabi ko kanina, you have to equate your equation to 0. Okay, so we have x squared plus y squared minus 16 equals 0. So this is our general form. Okay, if you want to look at the graph of that circle, so ang kanyang center ay nakay origin. Okay, ang center ay nakay origin. Okay, origin. We have the radius of 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Then connect this 4 points para makabuo ka ng circle. Ayan. So that is the graph of our circle. So isipin niyo na lang yan ay perfect circle. Okay, so the graph of this equation will be this one. Okay, so let us have letter B, number 2. Find the equation of the circle. Okay, satisfying the condition, center 2, negative 5, and radius is 3 units. Take note, class, that our center now is not on the origin. Nag-shift siya from the origin to 2, negative 5. So if the center is 2, negative 5, and the radius is equal to 3 units, we can use the center radius form, x minus h square plus y minus k square equals r square. Okay, plug into our equation, change the value since this is our h and this is our k. So we have x minus h, that is 2 square, plus y minus our k, that is negative 5. So negative times negative, so that will become positive 5 square, is equal to our radius is 3 square. So we have x minus 2 square plus y plus 5 square is equal to 9. So this is our standard form. Okay, to get the general form, anong gagawin? Okay, we have to expand our binomial. So expand natin si x minus 2 square, expand natin si y plus 5 square. Okay, then pasok natin si 9 sa loob. So if we have here x minus 2 square plus we have y plus 5 square is equal to 9. Okay? Paano ba tayo nag-expand ng binomial? Square the first term. x squared. Okay, twice the product of the first and the second term. So we have x times negative 2. That's x times negative 2 is negative 2x times 2. Okay, so that is negative 4x. And then square the last term, plus 4. So do the same process on our next binomial. Plus y squared plus 10y plus 25 equals 9. Okay, combining like terms, we have x squared. So, lahat ng may mataas sa degree, iuuna natin. Kasi ang general form natin, x squared plus y squared plus dx plus ey plus f equals 0. So, yan ang ating general form. So, yan, ganyan ang itsura na ating dapat mapalabas. So, we have x squared, then we need to have y squared, okay, dx. So, meaning we have negative 4x, okay, ey plus 10y, and then, okay, combine all the constants. This one. So we have, okay, we have 4 plus 25, so that is 29 equals 9. Okay, transpose natin si 9 sa left side. So we have x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 10y. Okay, what is 29 minus 9? So that is 20 equals 0. So this is our general form. Okay, so that is our general form. So to see, class, our graph, okay, the graph of this equation, okay, so let's have, okay, so I'm gonna show you the graph of this circle. Sabi doon, ang ating center ay nakay 2, negative 5. So, ang center natin ay nakay 2, negative 5. Okay, this is our center. Take note, class, that the radius is 3 units. So, from the center, bilang ka ng tagtatatlong units. Vertical and horizontal. So, we have 1, 2, 3. We have 1, 2, we have 3. We have 1, 2, 3. And we have 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And then connect this. Okay. So, that is our circle. Okay, as you can see, class, the center is not on the origin. Okay, nag-shift siya pababa. Okay, that is our circle. So this is the graph of that equation. Okay, next, let us have the second one. Okay, find the equation of the circle when the diameter whose endpoints are 3, 4, and negative 3, 12. Okay, so graph muna natin yung ating circle. Meron daw siyang diameter. Okay, so meron daw siyang diameter na negative 3, 12. Okay, negative 3 and 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so that is our point B. Ang point A natin ay 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is our point A. Okay, class, if we're going to connect these two, okay, so kasi sabi doon, this is a diameter. So if we're going to connect point A to B, that is the diameter of the circle. Okay, so meaning to say, ang circle natin, pwedeng ganito ang itsura. Okay, simulan natin. Okay, pwedeng ganyan ang maging itsura ng ating circle. Hindi maabot. diameter. Kailangan nasa gitna. Ayan. Okay? So, kunyari, ganyan ang itsura. Okay? So, paano natin makukuha yung equation ng circle? Take note, class, that when we are dealing about the equation of the circle, dalawang properties lamang ang mahalaga na dapat ay meron kayo. Ang una is yung ating radius. Dapat meron kayong bali ng radius at meron kayong coordinates for our center. Yan ang dalawang mahalagang properties na dapat meron kayo para makuha niyo yung equation ng circle. Okay, kasi yan yung kailangan natin. So from the given, ang given lang dito ay endpoints ng diameter, which is 3, 4, and which is B, which is negative 3, 12. Take note, class, that the center of the diameter is the center of the circle. Okay? So paano natin kukuhanin? Okay, paano natin kukuhanin yung center between point A and point B? So para makuha natin 'yan, so center, middle point ang hinahanap natin, we can use the midpoint. Okay? We can use the midpoint for us to get the center of the circle. So the midpoint, let us denote it by C since we're looking for the center. So we have 3 plus negative 3, that is 0, over 2. We have 12 plus 4, that is 16, over 2. So the center will be 0 divided by 2 is 0, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. So the center will be at 0, 8. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yun, sakto. Okay? So that is our center. That is 0, 8. Now, the next thing that you have to do is to get the radius. Meron ka ng center. Okay? That meron ka dito. Maglagay ka ng checklist. Center, check. Meron ka na bang radius? Wala pa. Okay? So para makuha natin ang radius, pwedeng yung point A at saka yung point B then divided by 2, or pwede namang from the center to point A, pwede kang kumuha, okay, ng radius. Okay? Because ating point C at point A ay R. Okay? So kunin natin si R, which is equal to, sa baba, R is equal to the square root of distance formula. We have 0 minus 3 squared plus we have 8 minus 4 squared. So that is the square root of 0 minus 3 is negative 3 squared plus 8 minus 4, that is 4 squared. So that is the square root of negative 3 squared is 9 plus 4 squared is 16. So that is the square root of 25. So what is our radius? The square root of 25 is positive 5 units. Okay, so our radius here is 5 units. So pwede na natin ngayon kuhanin ang ating equation ng circle because we have now the radius and we have the center. So we have, take note that the center is not on the origin. Kita naman dito sa ating graph na wala siya sa origin. So we have to use x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay, and then we have here, substitute, we have x minus h, which is 0 squared, plus y minus k, which is 8 squared, equals our r is 5 squared. Okay, so x minus 0 squared is x squared, plus we have y minus 8 squared is equal to 25. So this is our standard form. To get the general form, expand ulit. So we have x squared plus, expand this binomial, we have y squared, y times negative 8 is negative 8y times 2, negative 16y. Okay, negative 8 squared plus 64 is equal to 25. Okay, combining like terms, pasok natin si 25. We have x squared plus y squared minus 16y plus 64 minus 25 equals 0. Okay, so we have x squared plus y squared minus 16y, 64 minus 25, that is positive 39, is equal to 0. So this is now our general form. This is our standard form. Okay, so that's how we're going to get the equation of the circle. Okay, inspect the given, analyze the given, and then you have to go again your background knowledge about the midpoint and the distance formula. Okay, so you can see we use the midpoint to get the center, and we use the distance formula to get the length of the radius. Okay, so let's see kung meron pa siyang problem. Okay, how about this one? Find an equation of the circle with center at -10, 0, and passes through a -6, 3. Okay, graph ulit natin siya kasi sabi doon passes. Ano ba ibig sabihin natin ng passes? Pag sinabi natin class na passes, okay, dumaan. Okay, to that point. Okay, so let's have -10, 0. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. -10, 0. Palitan natin ang kulay. Okay, so this is -10, 0. That is that is the center of the circle. -10, 0. We have -6, +3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3. Ayan. Okay, so this is our point A, which is -6, +3. So, ang sinasabi lang dito, class, is ano daw ang equation ng circle kapag daw siya dumaan dito sa point A. Okay, so let us graph the circle. Okay, graph natin si circle para makita natin yung daw ang kanyang center. Okay, so ganyan ang kanyang magiging itsura dyan, class. Okay, ang kanyang center ay ito, at ang kanyang point na dinaanan ay iyan. Okay, if we're going to connect, class, this point, okay, so this point, the center, and this point A, okay, we all know that this is the radius. Okay, we have now the center. The center is -10, 0, pero wala tayong radius. Kailangan nating hanapin ang radius para makuha natin ang equation ng circle. So when you're going to connect the center and that point A, kung saan dumaan ang ating circle, okay, that is our radius. So to find for the radius, we have to use the distance formula. Okay, so that is the square root of, we have -10 minus, okay, this is the first coordinate, minus -6, so negative, negative, +6 squared. Plus, we have 0 minus 3 squared. Okay, so that is equal to the square root of -10 plus 6 is -4 squared plus -3 squared. So that is equal to 16 plus 9. Okay, and that is the square root of 25. So the radius will be, the square root of 25 is 5 units. Okay, so we have now the radius and we have now the center. Then we can now get the equation of the circle. Okay, so that is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, because our center is not on the origin. Okay, so we have x minus our h is -10. So negative times negative is +10 squared. Plus y minus our k is 0 squared is equal to our r, which is 5 squared. Okay, take note, class, that this is hk. Okay, so we have x plus 10 squared plus y minus 0 is y squared equals 25. So this is our standard form. Expand the binomial, we have x squared plus 10 times x is 10x times 2, that is 20x, plus 10 squared, that is 100, plus y squared is equal to 25. Combining like terms, we have x squared plus y squared plus 20x, okay, plus 100. Papasok mo si 25 minus 25 equals 0. So So we have now x squared plus y squared plus 20x plus 75 equals 0. Okay, so this is our general form. Okay, this is our general form and this is our standard form. Okay, that's how we're going to get the equation of the circle. Okay, so I hope this video ay makatulong sa inyo para mas maintindihan ninyo yung coordinate geometry, specifically the distance, the midpoint, and the equation of the circle. So thank you so much for watching this video. God bless you.